listening to the Pillaging Podcast, companion podcast to PillagingJustForFun.com. That's PJ4F.com, the only Raider fan site made by Raider fans for Raider fans. Tune in every week on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher Radio. Call in and leave a message to be played live on air at 408-909-PJFF. This episode brought to you by Creative Media Design Studio. Check them out at CreativeMediaMonterey.com. Yo, it's time to pillage another podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Stapler, joined as always by my co-host,
your boy Che.
What's good, man?
Oh, man.
It's a rough week for you.
It's a real rough week for me, man.
In case y'all didn't know, Che's a Raider, Laker, Dodger fan. I know you got a lot of brethren out there in your posse.
Yeah. Rough week, rough day yesterday. Sad end to the season.
Hell of a series, though. Hell of a series.
You got to give it up. You got to give it up to them. They played really well, man. I mean, they played really well. So can't say too much about it, but it's just a sad showing for us on the most important game of the season.
Yep.
You know,
my cold's all cleared up. Those of you guys that tuned in last week heard me. I was pretty stuffed up. I'm feeling good. Both of us back to full health. I took a trip out to New Mexico this weekend to visit some fam. And didn't get to see the game live. I've seen a lot of it. Played back. Seen a lot of the highlights, all the breakdowns. Pretty much pieced it together. Hard enough to watch that. Can't imagine what it was like watching it live. I was following on my phone. Heard some of it on the radio.
You heard some of it from me.
Heard a lot of it from you. You kept me in the loop, so I appreciate that. As hard as it was to watch it, to retype all of that must have been excruciating.
Yeah,
I sensed the frustration in your text. One of the things that really frustrated me, just on the outside, was I followed the first drive on my phone on the app, and I saw him going deep left, deep right, just marched right downfield, punched the ball in the end zone, and then following the game later on through your text and through the phone app, and then later watching it, check down after check down after check down.
Yep.
I mean, no doubt about it. Turnovers killed us in this game. 4 turnovers.
Yep.
They all went for points.
Pretty much. I think the only one that didn't was the last one. But But the first 3, I mean, they were in our area of the field, and the defense did all that they could. I mean, they couldn't stop the linebacker from running into the fumble.
No.
You know, so that's the reason why they got that touchdown. But they held the other 2 to field goals.
Yeah.
So you got to give the defense some props for at least keeping us within reach. But yeah, you give up 13. You give up 13 points off of turnovers, man. That's You pretty much did us in, man.
It's been a similar story all year. Defense hangs around in the first half, and then ultimately just too many minutes on the field break down. Shady starts getting after it. The momentum builds up, and your D. We don't have a D that's built to shut down games,
right?
But they did what they could in the first half, and once again the offense couldn't click. After a week where everything looked great, looked back to normal, we had a quarterback that was scrambling, that was stepping up in the pocket, showing poise, showing confidence, and then we get right back to staring down, check down targets. Chase won't be joining us this week, but he did send in some notes. He was watching the coach's film, and basically noted that the Buffalo Bills came out in cover 4 for most of the game. They were dropping back, which is not much of an excuse because KC was in a cover 2 all week last week, and we were killing them with deep crossing routes over the middle of the field. Get behind the linebacker, get in front of the safeties, and that's how you beat a deep cover scheme like that. And we didn't see it. Saw Baldinger's breakdown, Baldy. Again, just Carr, way too quick off the snap, staring down check downs. You could blame Todd Downing. You could definitely blame Todd Downing. Mm-hmm. But when plays aren't developing and we're not giving them time to develop, we don't even really get a fair shot to see what's dialed up at that point.
Right.
So we're going to place some blame on Carr this week, and Kane's going to come on, and I'll let him talk more about that. I don't want to steal his thunder.
Right.
But, I mean, what else? I mean, run D exhausted, turnovers killed us. Carr's numbers look good. For the second week, he goes over 300 yards. But
I mean, yards wise is good, but 2 picks that ended drives. I mean, that's I mean, what?
So even from a fantasy perspective, he's killing you in that regard.
Man.
You know?
Yeah.
Whatever he's giving you in points regarding yardage, he's taken away from you in interceptions.
And then you only put up 14 points total all game.
Rough.
14 points total, really? That's all we could muster up. I mean, it's total disappointment, man. And it was a cold one. It was a wet one over there, and it just seemed like, I don't know. I even mentioned it to you, like when they kind of panned to the sidelines, it kind of looked like they just were unhappy of the conditions. It's like, get over it, dude. You're playing football, man.
Yeah, it's October.
And Jalen Richard, man, you're running around with the football out. Like, come on, man.
DeAndre Washington.
DeAndre Washington, put the damn ball away, man. It's wet. It's cold. You know that kind of stuff is going to happen, man.
Really disappointed. I was looking forward to seeing those two guys run the ball. And I saw some things, I saw Washington flash, but when you're fumbling the ball, all that's for naught.
Yeah.
It's all for naught.
Especially when it gets returned for a touchdown, man.
Shout out to Chase for calling the skinny post to Lee Smith.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you was dead on that one, and it almost went for a touchdown, man. That was a good call. That was a good call, real great call.
Real great call, and just another case of us abandoning what's working for us, and Carr not giving it a chance. I know he was under duress for some of the game, but when you look at it, for the majority of the game, he was not. The line was holding up.
Yeah, we gave up 0 sacks.
0.
There was 0 sacks.
I think it was like 4 pressures all game.
Yeah. So what's the excuse? I mean, you can't use that as an excuse for every single down, every single play, man. And
yeah,
I just think I don't know where our head's at, man. I don't know where the head of TD is. I don't know where Carr's head's at, but it just seems like they can't keep the same mentality going in every single week.
Yeah.
It's you go from KC and you saw everything that you wanted to see the 4 weeks prior to that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we revert back, man. It's like really? You forgot that quickly? It took 9 days for you to forget what really works for you and what doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
It's just total disappointment, man.
And now with the loss to Buffalo, wild card hopes starting to look pretty grim. I mean, New York doing us a little bit of help tonight. They're up 24-7. It looks like they're going to put that game away. And we'll see what happens with Buffalo with the rest of the season. I'm still holding on. Well, I mean, we're still riding. You can tell by the sound of our voice we are not happy right now.
No, man.
We're not feeling great. It's going to take a miracle. We are in the land of miracles, as Scott Winter said. I was texting with him earlier this week. And that's what it's going to take. What did you say it's going to take for us to get in the playoffs this year?
I think we got to win out. And I don't know, obviously to most people that don't even sound realistic, but that's what it's going to take. That's what I really feel it's going to take. The only way that we're going to make it out and actually make it into the playoffs is winning out. So there you go. Take that for what you want.
Yeah.
And it starts with this week. If we can't get a win this week, then you might as well pack it up and send it in, man, because if you can't beat the Dolphins.
And the Raiders haven't beat the Dolphins for 10 years. The last Raider quarterback to beat Miami was Dante Culpepper. And I've been scratching my head about this every year that we get the Dolphins. And I'm like, why can't we beat Miami? I mean, the one year we played them in London, that was the infamous you can stay here and we're going to leave. You guys know who I'm talking about. They referred on the blog, they call him Tits McGee. Yeah, so let's see if we can get back on track against Miami this week. We'll be breaking that game down in the second segment, and we don't necessarily have to win out, but I mean that's the lock right there. That's what you want to see. Playing Philadelphia, who just got stronger this week by picking up Ajayi. They look good. They look legit. Wentz looks like a smart young quarterback. He's making a lot of the right decisions. He looks definitely way ahead of schedule, so that's going to be a tough out. That's on the road. That's on Christmas Day. Obviously, we got the Patriots, and we still have divisional games left. Definitely have to sweep KC at this point.
Yep.
Sweep KC and hope.
We have to sweep the next 3 matches up against our division, man. We can't take a loss against any of them.
Said it last week. Said it the week before that. Said it the week before that. Said it the week before that. This is a must-win game.
That's it. They're all must-win games now.
Everything, and we said that 2 weeks ago as well.
Yep.
So we're gonna try to get to Kane on the phone here. He's on the job site right now. He's gonna try to take our call. So give me a second. Let me dial him up and see if we can get him on air. And he's gonna give us your trash can player, your MVP player, and help us talk a little bit about what's gonna happen in Miami this week. So let's see if he calls in.
Hello.
Hey, what's good?
Hey, what's happening? Hold on, let me go up in this. What's going on, man?
What's good, Kane?
Nothing much. What's up with you?
Well, we're just chilling here. We got you on air right now. We wanted to bring you in and help us kind of break down this Bills game a little bit. We just talked about the turnovers. We talked about the checkdowns. We talked about the cover 4 that Buffalo ran all game. The defense hanging in there for a half and finally getting exhausted and giving up the big runs in the second half. But let's shine a spotlight here. Why don't you give us your trash can player this week?
My trash can player this week would be Mr. Carr, Mr. Derek Carr. 2 turnovers is not going to get you any kind of victories in this league.
Yep.
Especially coming off the strongest performance of your season and everybody hoping for you to get back on track. We thought we had the old Derek Carr, return to the Mac, return to the OG, and you come out and you laid a stinker like that. So is that Derek Carr's debut as a trash can player?
I want to say it is.
We're backing up the truck right now, and Derek Carr, you need to hop in. You
can join him.
Todd Downing can join him. Todd Downing, that's your buddy. That's your road dog. You can get in the truck with them.
Yeah, your best friends.
Yep. Back it up.
Help me out here. Do we have an MVP this week?
That's a good question. I mean, if I had to say somebody was the MVP, I probably would have to say Marquette King. I mean, he pinned him back inside the 20-yard line a few times. He had a lot of punts. He definitely earned his paycheck. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm playing with the hurt groin. I know he had a couple early punts that didn't quite have the velocity on him, but like you said, he got back in there. And I don't know, maybe took a few hundred ibuprofen and muscled it out. So, yeah, when your punter's the MVP, that's all you really need to know. So, yeah. Marquette King.
You the real MVP.
You're the real MVP. Kane, you're taking a trip this weekend. Where are you going?
I am going to wonderful South Beach.
Welcome to Miami.
Yes, sir, in the house.
So besides the game, you're gonna go out there for another Sunday night football game, another primetime game featuring the Oakland Raiders. What do you got? What's your hit list out there? You trying to hit anything up while you're out there?
You know what? I haven't really looked into anything right now, man. I'm just gonna kind of play it by ear. When I get down there, I'm gonna see what's up. I'm meeting a few people out there, and so I'm gonna see what's up on their agenda when I get out there, man. I'm just kind of gonna play it by ear for right now.
Are you gonna meet up with some of the fellow bloggers? You want to give some shouts out?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Little King. Little King is already there, and I want to give a shout out to Tuck Rule Fool, and also to Bro Jackson 34 and Raider Educator. I see y'all out there Saturday.
Hell yeah, that's what's up.
That's dope.
That's what's up. So a couple weeks ago, you were a little bit hesitant about this Miami game. You said, I don't know. How are you feeling about it right now? I mean, coming off another tragic loss, another frustrating week. The sun hasn't completely set on the season yet, but how are you feeling about it? What's your mindset traveling out to Miami?
The sun is damn near setting. Let me see. How I feel about this. Miami is playing good on defense right now.
Yeah,
I know they got a good defense, and the Raiders just ain't mustering much offense lately. I mean, they played with their backs against the wall. They mustered 31 points. Mm-hmm. That's believe their highest total since week 2.
That's true.
Yep.
So we're just, I don't know what to think about this team, man. I mean, I want to say it's something wrong inside the locker room. Some amongst the team, I just don't know. It's too much talent on this team for us to be 3-5 right now.
Exactly.
And it's a mystery to me. And Derek Carr alluded to something. Maybe the other players aren't understanding the playbook the way they should. Maybe they're not reading the playbook or learning the plays as they should. And so when Todd Downing calls a play that they maybe didn't practice for during the week, the players are not familiar with that play because they didn't practice for it. But you should still know it because you should know your playbook. And Derek Carr kind of made a statement. I don't think he threw everybody under the bus, but he kind of said, I hope everybody is reading their playbooks. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
With that being said, maybe that's a problem on offense. I just don't know. We're gonna go down here to Miami. It's a primetime game. They spent a week down there together. The team has played. Has been all in the one resort in Sarasota.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll see if that bonding helped. I mean, I can't. There's nothing else I can think of. The defense has been playing good enough. They've kept us in games.
Yep.
Even in the Washington game, bro, we had a chance to come back in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
You can't blame. This is not on K&J. This is on Todd Downing and Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Got to agree with you, man.
Truth. You got the Chiefs facing the Cowboys this week. That's a game. That's a team that we're going to be watching the rest of the way out. We were going to be watching the Chiefs anyways because they're their number one competition in the division. But right now, fingers are crossed, hands are clasped, everyone's praying, everyone's down on their knees. We need Chiefs to lose and lose out and lose every single week as much as possible. Ezekiel Elliott, obviously out for the next 6 weeks. But tell me, just gut feeling, the Chiefs in Dallas, is that a game that they can lose this week on the road?
I'll tell you what, Vegas has Dallas +1.
Okay. Huh.
I mean, I'm sorry, Dallas -1.
Dallas
Chiefs
-1 at home, and usually the home team's getting an automatic 3 points. So, yeah, that's
so they think that Dallas might beat the Chiefs, man. You know, like I said, and here we are again. We don't know because Dallas don't have Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they can pull this one off, though. It'll be nice to see the Chiefs lose.
It's really in Prescott's hands this week. And then you got the Broncos going up against the Eagles. I don't want to speak too soon. This is a crazy, crazy season in the NFL. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the Eagles are looking really, really dominant out there in the NFC East. This game is in Philadelphia. Now, the Broncos don't necessarily stand in our way, but they are ahead of us in the rankings, and so we need them to lose too. I'm thinking that this is a game that the Broncos can easily lose. What say you, Kane and Shay? Do you think the Broncos lose this week against Philadelphia? Can we count on that?
I think the Eagles are going to beat the Broncos, and again, Vegas has the Eagles -8.5.
Oh wow!
So they feel like they're going to put a beat down on them. Yeah. So you know, Denver is having problems at quarterback right now.
Yeah,
they don't have one.
They got Brock Osweiler now, man.
Exactly. They went back to Brock Osweiler, and it's looking like Paxton Lynch is going to get some playing time at some point this season. So at this point, Denver only has a defense, and it's going to waste when you don't have no offense. So yeah, I look for the Eagles to put a whooping on the Broncos this week.
So I was looking around, and it looks like our percentage chance, our likelihood to make the playoffs is down to 1.4% right now. Chase says we need to win out to guarantee that. I would say that's for sure. What's the bare minimum this team can do, Kane, to get into the postseason? What's the bare minimum we can do? What is it we have to hope for to get into the postseason this year?
Well, we need to beat the Chiefs again. We need to win the rest of our division games first and foremost. We need to win the rest of our division games, and then we need to go out and win. Shit, man, we can only lose one more game, bro. You know what I mean? If we can only lose one more game, and we really can't afford to lose one more game. But yeah, we can only lose one more game, and I'm looking at the Eagles game on Christmas.
Yeah.
In the snow as a possible loss. Every other game, you need to win them.
And at the
if you
very
want to go
least,
to the playoffs, you got to win.
At the very least, the only bright side I can take away from that is the Philadelphia Eagles. They're an NFC team, so we take an L there. Theoretically, I mean, aside from wins and losses, that doesn't hurt our playoff chances in the conference.
Right.
So I'm with you there. I'm thinking, I agree with Che. We would like to win out. We need to win out, but that's likely a loss. The Philadelphia game is likely a loss. And at least it's out of conference. But it's also, I mean, that's going to show us where we're at. I mean, we put the wheels back on this car. Who knows in that game? This is a team, when firing on all cylinders, that can beat Philadelphia. So let's see where this team can get to by the time we play Philadelphia. Wouldn't that be the most amazing Christmas gift ever?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that'd be out of this world.
Yep.
Considering what we got for Christmas. I was saying,
exactly.
Considering what we got for Christmas last year, it would be nice to get the opposite this year.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
this team is really it's did a number on us this year, man. So we'll see where we at in December 25th.
I've been a Raiders fan for a long time. I know you have too. I know all of us here have. This is feeling to me like the most disappointing season I've seen, maybe ever, but in a very long time.
By far, because of the expectations, man. There's a lot of expectations. You have a team that produced like they did last season, and then you add all the talent that we added in the offseason, and the offense is the one thing that's failing us. I mean, that's mind-blowing, dude. It's mind-blowing.
It's really head-scratching, and to see the regression of Derek Carr and then the impact of Bill Musgrave's exit. And people were calling for his head, and we got JFB. You're going to hear him during the caller segment, and he's gonna give it to you. He's going to give it to you raw and uncut, spicy take, like he does. Kane, is this maybe the most disappointing season you've experienced as a Raiders fan?
Yeah, you know why? Because the expectations have been so high, vast for this team for this year, and it's been such a long time since we've had any kind of any sense of a winning team around here.
Yeah.
So it's real disappointing that they came out and they stink. Yeah. I mean, there's no other way to put it. The off. I don't know if they missed Bill Musgrave. Mm-hmm. Or if it's Derek Carr has his back injured and he's afraid he may re-injure it if he takes a hit. Mm-hmm. So he's playing a little, shy or whatever. I don't know, man. It's too much talent on this team for us to not be at least 7-1 right now.
Yep.
Definitely a very, very strange season in the NFL altogether, and in a very odd season for the Raider Nation itself. We're all just scratching our heads right now. Not really much left to say about that. Kane, we appreciate. Go ahead.
At least we helped out the Jets, huh? They haven't lost since they played us. Oh, they lost one game since they played us.
Yeah,
they playing their tails off right now.
We gave them a nice kick in the ass. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That Marshawn Lynch dance is looming large right now in a lot of different ways.
It looks like we've been marked for death because of that. I guess teams are coming after us every week.
Yeah, ears pinned back. When you're good, there's a target on your back, and right now that target is just riddled with bullet holes. I hate to say it, but it is. It really is. I want to thank you for coming on again this week, man, and we wish you safe travels to Miami. Those of you that are on Twitter, make sure you follow him, Kane MT6. I know you'll be periscoping out there, right? You're going to give us some video while you're out there?
Absolutely.
Make sure you check in with Scott Winter on Twitter, bro, because he seems to find the epicenter of Raider Nation on the road. So he'll hip you to wherever the good spot's at. I'm not saying you can't sniff it out on your own, because you probably will. But if you're looking for a good time with Raider Nation, hit up Scott. I saw him last weekend in Buffalo. He found the big Raiders party. I'm sure he'll be out there again. If he's not, he'll at least know where it's at. So make sure you check in with your boy, and then give us some updates, man. Give us some periscopes. Give us some video content. Give us something to be excited about, Kane.
Yeah.
I'll definitely do that, bro.
For real, man. Again, this is Kane's Corner, brought to you every week by NFLshop.com. Make sure you shop NFLshop.com. Get yourself a legit, nice, crisp NFL jersey. When you do that, make sure you click through off PJ4F.com. Help us out a little bit. Help out Raider Nation. Help out your boys over here at the Pillaging Podcast. And help yourself out by repping the silver and black every single Sunday, every single day of the week. Why hold back?
Yeah, every single day, man.
Every day is Raider Day.
That's it.
In Raider Nation.
All year, 365 days a year.
There you go.
That's what's up. So thanks, man. You really perked us up. Anything you want to say before you get out of here?
Go Raiders, baby. Go Raiders.
That's it. Go Raiders.
Go Raiders.
All right. Well, that's your boy Kane right there.
Yeah.
Very, very realistic. On the same page with us.
Definitely.
But I heard optimism in the voice.
There's some optimism, but that's us, man, right? We live with, despite all the negativity, man, we always got some optimism.
Yeah.
And that, even though I'm really pissed off,
mm-hmm.
right? Even though we have every reason to be down, like you said, we're not out yet.
We're not out.
So as long as we're not out yet, we still got something. We got something to fight for, right?
There's still cash in the dice game. We ain't crapped out yet. Yeah. So Make sure you follow Kane again, Kane MT6 on Twitter. Check him out. He's going to be periscoping out there. He's a cool dude. I know he's going to find it. He's going to get at the tailgate. Raider Nation tailgates no matter where. No update yet on whether I'm going to go to KC. I said I was going to go, but I got actually some holiday expenses coming up. I have another plane ticket, 2 plane tickets I got to buy for the holidays. So we'll see if I'm out there. I'm really trying to get out there. I'm going to see what I can do financially to make it out there. Yeah. Anyways, that's the first half of the show. Anything you want to say?
Nah, man. Let's go ahead and move on to next week.
All right. Well, we out here. Go
Peace.
Raiders.
This is Plunk. I'm yelling really loud right now. So, I don't know what to think anymore. I just want us to beat Miami. And if we don't beat Miami, they should fire Del Rio. That's what I think. Go Raiders. When I said to fire Jack Rodrigo, still do that. Meow!
Man, 3-5. Seriously? 3 and a 5th. Y'all wanted to get rid of Bill Musgrave. Y'all wanted to run him out of town so bad when we had the best offense we've seen in maybe a million years out of the Raiders. Not quite a million. I think it was 15. But nevertheless, you ran him out of town because he's the boring white man named Bill Musgrave. He's dorky. He's boring. That's why you got rid of him. And now look what we got. We got a ginger with a scruffy little half-shaken beard who looks like a lumbersexual. He probably wears flannel every day, drives a big old Ford F-350, and lives in a cul-de-sac and has a landscaper. This guy is a fraud of epic proportions, and Raider Nation begged for it. Reap what you sow.
And we're back. Back in effect, back in the saddle again. Back at you. Silver and back. Back on the road to greatness, commitment to excellence, all that. Hoo-hoo. Check it out. So you heard for some couple choking up like I won't say it. I won't say it. You got the hat on. I'm not gonna say it. Choking up. Anyways, we had some callers. You heard from some of the callers. I told these guys to call in and yell real loud, and that's what you got. You got a little bit of Friskies, a little bit of Plunk for Hall of Fame. I don't know who Mr. Fired Jack Del Rio is. I think that's Radiar. I don't know who that is. It's a quick take every week from that caller. It shows up as unknown. So crafty on the caller ID there. But the one that stands out is the mighty JFB. A good dude, spicy take guy. Catches a lot of heat on the blog. He's wrong, hardcore sometimes. But when he's right, and it doesn't always feel good.
Yeah.
And I think he gave it to you raw and uncut right now.
Yeah, real raw and uncut.
How'd you feel about that call, Che?
I think he nailed it, man. He's dead on, man.
He did.
Dead on.
I'm a boring white guy, too. Hopefully you don't try to run me out of town. But if you do, you're stuck with Che and Kane, and that ain't a bad thing. I think they can run this offense just fine. Just fine. But I had a chance to kick it with JFB this weekend. He lives out there in New Mexico, out there in Albuquerque, and we got to have some really nice soul food out there. Nice little craft brew place called Nexus. If you're ever out in that area, make sure you check out that spot. Good beer, good food. I had a Nashville hot chicken made with New Mexico red chili, and it was hot. The waitress made sure to warn me that it was hot because I'm a boring white guy. But I like hot food. I like spicy food. I like spicy takes. So JFB, it's always good to kick it with you, man. You're a good dude online and offline. I want to say you're different offline because you are. You are. You're a lot more down to earth than folks think, and I'm going to hit you up this week. I want to get you on air next week. And we got to get 303 Raider on here, too. We're going to start getting these bloggers on here. Like I mentioned last week, I finally got a good, solid platform for call-ins. And it was a lot simpler than I thought. I was kind of overthinking it. So expect more guests going forward. I know Kane's got some gets. We're going to get those people in. Hopefully we can get them in after some W's, which would be nice. But if not, we're trying to get Lincoln back on the show. He's willing to do it, but he's been real busy this year, chasing a couple other guys right now. Scott's going to come back on the show too. And again, some of our bloggers, and we'll have you guys on. If you're interested, just hit me up. PillagingJustForFun@gmail.com. PillagingJustFun@gmail.com. Is it Pillaging Just for Fun or Pillage Just for Fun? It's one of the two. Check the website. Hit us up there. Of course, you can find us on Instagram, Pillaging Podcast. You can find us on Twitter. Just search us. You'll find us. You can get a hold of me somehow, some way. And, of course, there's always the call-in line, 408-909-PJFF. That's a voicemail. So if you want to come on the show, just hit me up there. Let me know. You can hit that up anytime. I check it throughout the week. So, yeah, we'll get you on. This is for Raider fans, by Raider fans, and what are we if we're not having Raider fans on every week? Your takes count too. I've said it before. I think we've all said it. Raider Nation is one of the most tuned in fan bases in the NFL. Not only are we fanatics, but we know our football, man.
Yeah,
we do. And a lot of things that we've been calling out since week 3 is now starting to come out in the national media. Carr and Downing finally taking flack for a lot of the things that we've been saying. So we know our football, and I like to think we know a thing about it or two here on the podcast as well. Are we myopic? Hell yes, we're myopic. Yeah. We're Raider fans. We're going to stay optimistic.
What'd you think? What'd you think you were listening to when you got into this podcast?
and I see it. I see it on our blog. I see it on Reddit. I see it on other blogs, comment sections, whatnot, Twitter. There's folks on both sides of the fence right now. There's a lot of guys that are down. There's a lot of people picking them up. And I've been a fan since the 80s. Che, you've been a fan since the 80s.
Yep.
And we've been through some tough times, man. But, hey, we still rock silver and black. That's not going to stop.
Never. Can't stop, won't stop.
Stay committed to excellence, folks. Don't pride and poise. Do those words mean anything to you?
They mean everything.
That's good answer. Perfect answer. The only answer. So it's time to get into it. Quick hits. First off, Jeff Schwartz on the O-line this week, he was talking about it, former offensive lineman and a writer for Bleacher Report, basically saying that we got maulers up front. These guys aren't as bad as they've been labeled to be, but they are not doing what they are built to do. They are built to push forward and knock your ass down, and we're running a lot of outside zone. So he called that out this week. That was a quick hit. Obi practicing with the cornerbacks this week. How do you feel about that? He's been billed as a safety, as a hybrid guy, but he's got the speed.
I mean, we need the help.
We need help.
We need all the help we can get out there, right? So, I mean, I'm not mad at it. But, yeah, I mean, the DBs in general, right? Safeties, corners, we need all the help we can get. I just want to see him on the field. I just want to see him out there making some plays.
So I like to see him getting cross-trained, as they say in the corporate world. So Obi definitely guaranteed some time this weekend. Who knows where he will line up, but Emerson looks to be out. We'll talk about an injury report in a minute. 1.4% chance to make the playoffs. We already covered that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a quick hit. Your boy Marshawn Lynch returns to practice this week. Where are you on the Lynch side of the fence? Like him, leave him, helping us, not making a difference?
I mean, he hasn't been making a difference.
No.
Because he wasn't there last week, so he can't make a difference when he's not there.
True.
And the weeks before that, our offense was so horrible that the running game was basically abandoned.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's up to us to get him involved and keep him involved.
And I'm looking at the offensive line and the scheming too, because it hasn't been all his fault. I've been really clamoring for him to do something. He looked great in weeks 1 and 2.
Yeah.
You didn't dislike the zone blocking scheme in weeks 1 and 2, but it's time to get back to power. It's time to get back to the counters. It's maybe time to get him outside. And his hands have been suspect, so we'll see how that goes there. But I haven't given up on Lynch yet. I still think he has some in the tank. I just don't think he's been given the opportunity by the offensive line and the blocking scheming that we've been seeing going forward.
Yep, I agree.
Jay Cutler, number 1 quarterback in the NFL to start this week on Sunday. That was a joke. That felt really flat. But Cutler's back in the saddle. He's going to be battling a rib injury. Maybe that's something to look forward to. Maybe we
knock
get
him off the saddle.
Knock him off the saddle, and maybe we get our first interception of the season this week. Maybe they come in bunches.
You can only hope, man.
As they so often do.
You can only hope.
So quick hit. This one's going to be a little bit longer. So compared to 2016, the Raiders are earning 4.9 fewer points per game and 55.5 fewer yards per game. That's 32 less rushing yards per game as well included in that stat. So Oakland went from a top 10 offense in points last year in points, yards, and rushing yards to now a bottom half ranking. We are ranked 19th, 20th, and 26th respectively in those categories. Raiders are also running the ball just 36% of the plays. That's the 6th lowest rate in the NFL. Carr had a 117.8 passer rating last year, and this year, a 51.6. Yep. You can blame Todd Downing all you want, but Carr has the brains, and he's got the know-how to fix it on the field, and I'm starting to pivot, and I'm really starting to look at Derek Carr, because when you have a scheme that's not working for you as a quarterback, you need to make it work. Right?
Yeah.
So those are our quick hits. Your injury report.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Get up! Get your ass up.
Just get up off the ground. Do your thing. So this week, injury report, let me dial this up here. David Amerson was limited Wednesday, did not participate on Thursday. Also, Corey James was limited Wednesday, did not participate. Oh, sorry, flip that, reverse it, put my thing down, rehearse it. Corey James was limited today, did not participate on Wednesday. Also a no-go this week was, again, Gary Conley. I've already said it. He's not coming back this season. And Gabe Jackson has not participated all week. So look for Feliciano to take his spot. Fat Klay Thompson, as we like to refer to him here. He's getting some praise from his members on the offensive line. You know, I think Feliciano's done okay in spot duty.
I mean, he's held up.
Yeah.
You could say that. You could say he's held up. He hasn't given us anything to be like going off the wall about. So keep doing your thing, man. Keep being a decent backup. And Gabe, get healthy.
Alawale and Morrow look to return. They were both limited, dinged up, but look like they're going to be ready to go. Lee, limited again, so he's bouncing back from that ankle. And Joseph with the groin injury, limited both days. Hard to tell with the groin injury, though.
Yeah.
It's really hard to tell, especially with the limited. You don't really know what that means, especially with a groin injury. So they might just be testing that out, and he could definitely be a scratch on Sunday. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if Joseph is a scratch. But now we got Obi in there. We got Luwani in there. We didn't really talk about Luwani this week. He looked like a rookie last week.
He looked like a rookie, but he had some spots where, you know, he played decent. Yeah, I think there was a play along the sidelines. They were running a zone, and he just wasn't in position that they got on us. But I mean, look at the actual amount of passing yards that Buffalo had. They didn't do much through the air.
Yeah.
So you got to give them props for that. They held up decently as far as yards go.
Yeah.
So
the only really standout on the injury report for the Dolphins this week is Mike Pouncey, their starting center. He was a full go Wednesday, did not participate Thursday. That's listed as a hip knee injury. I'm not really tuned in on the latest and greatest for the Miami Dolphins, so I'm not sure if that's something that he sustained in practice or something he's been nursing all along, and maybe that got aggravated Wednesday. But DNP for him on Thursday. We'll wait and see what it looks like tomorrow, but there's a shot that they don't have their starting center. That looks good for our defensive line. Of course, we'll get into the keys of the game. This is a good segue, I guess, into that. As you guys know, there was a lot of trades this week that happened. There was a big trade that didn't happen in Cleveland.
The only thing they could be kind of give you a little bit of cheer and be like, well, at least we're not as bad as Cleveland.
Don't say that, man. Don't say that. Yeah, so somebody forgot to check the whiteboard. They were too busy doing their touchdown dance over there. Didn't call it in.
Man.
But that being said, big trades this week. So Ajayi is now gone from Miami, and now they got to lean on Kenyon Drake, who has not been their go-to running back. This will be his debut performance for them as the go-to number one guy. So we don't really know what to expect out of Drake this week, but I'm going to expect not a whole lot because that's what you should expect. That's what you should expect in this kind of a situation.
Yeah, but we still got to do our damn job, man, and shut him down. Don't let this guy come out and look like a Hall of Famer in his first freaking full game of the season.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that we can't have. You can't take him lightly just because he hasn't been on the field.
The marquee matchup in this game has got to be KO versus right?
Yeah.
Especially when you got a quarterback that's got the happy feet, the quick release, the trigger finger right now. You got to keep his jersey clean on Sunday Night Football, and shutting him down is going to be a big part of that.
Yep.
With their center out, and I wanted to touch on this with their center out. Something that we did in the KC game that I didn't see in the highlights against Buffalo, because I don't know that did we sack Tyrod Taylor in that game?
I don't think so, man.
Yeah, I don't think we did either. I'm looking at it right here, and I don't see any sacks for the defense right here on the. No. So anyways, what I was getting at is we were putting blitzers in the B gap right there next to Khalil Mack. You got to get a blitzer. You got to get somebody on that tackle and force them to make a decision. Is it going to be, Lee? Is it going to be Bowman? Or is it going to be Mack? Who are you going to guard? Force them to keep the running ball back in the backfield. Force them to shut down that flat passing game. Yeah. Have them account for somebody else besides Khalil Mack. People complain every week he's getting double teamed. He's getting triple teamed. Well, you know what? Triple team the offense. Double team the offense. Get somebody in that gap. They did that against Alex Smith, and it worked very effectively. Yeah. Kept him inside the pocket. Kept him checking down. Kept him making adjustments at the line. It got up in their offensive game plan, and again, something that was working for us that we got away from. So I want to see some of that this week. Pagano, dial up some creative blitzes. Give me something that I haven't seen, and then give me something that I've seen before that worked. Maybe make it look a little bit different. But let's not lose face on the concepts and the philosophies that have been working week in and week out. I want to see a greatest hits. The Dolphins, 7th ranked defense in the NFL. I think they're like 11th ranked passing defense, so they're no slouch. But this is definitely a beatable team. And I want to see us get back to being the Raiders who beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I don't want to see it come down to 0 seconds on the clock.
Right.
But we definitely saw some good spots in that game. Let's get back to that. Another matchup in this game, Jarvis Landry and Devontae Parker, the Miami wide receivers versus the entire Oakland secondary, which is pretty banged up right now. Mm-hmm. So with Emerson out, we're probably looking at Carey and a combination of McDonald and Smith. Who knows where they're going to plug Obi in, if they're going to roll the dice on Luwani or they're going to swap him out for Obi. Again, that also depends on if Joseph can go or not. It's sort of a mix and match right now in their secondary.
Yeah.
And maybe that works against us. Maybe that works for us as far as game planning goes. It's kind of different. It's different than game planning for a quarterback you haven't seen. It's different game planning for a cornerback you haven't seen. Not quite a factor,
right?
I would say in that regard. But it's something to hold on to, I guess. And lastly, what I have is open up the offense against these guys. Again, they have a good pass rush. They have a pretty stout defensive line. But it doesn't mean we need to check down. We don't need to stare down the check downs this week, Derek.
Yeah. Gotta be. We gotta be more creative, man. We gotta be more creative, man. And we've been saying that every single week. Mm-hmm. And then we saw a little bit of it for KC, and it got our hopes up. We got to get back to it. We got to get back to that. Obviously, we can do it. We've seen it. Get back to it, man.
Just to translate, when Shay says get creative, he doesn't mean 40 screen pass.
No, that's not creative. That's stupidity, man. That's just, we got to do what we've been able to do in the games that we've won mm-hmm. and that we've done in the past. Mm-hmm. And we gotta mix it up, man. We gotta go deep. We gotta attack them. And that's one of the things that Baldy said is, what are we doing with Derek Carr? Mm-hmm. This guy's supposed to be attacking defenses, not sitting back, dropping passes off to the flats, check downs and all that kind of stuff. That's not aggressive. That's not something. If you know what, if you're going to throw 2 picks, you better do it because you're being aggressive and you're actually attacking the defense. We got to do that, man. We got to attack the defense. We can't. It feels like the offense is always on its heels, man. That's what it feels like. In all these losses that we've had, it feels like the offense is on its heels. And that's because we're not going out there with that mindset. Yeah. So let the big boys up front get into people's face masks, get dirty, mm-hmm. right? Let them attack, get that power running going, and let Derek Carr do his thing and let him attack too.
Scott Winter said last week that before the KC game was the loosest he's seen this offense all season, or this team in general all season. Just cutting it up, having a good time. No pressure, you know what I mean? They got nothing to lose at this point, and once again we're in that position. So, like you said, they've been out at the resort all week. Maybe having these guys in hotel rooms and away from the facility, away from their homes, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's what we need right now.
Hopefully, man.
Hopefully. Maybe.
Hopefully.
I mean, hopefully they're not getting at each other's necks. But, maybe some team bonding, maybe them getting out there together to having some of these conversations behind closed doors. Maybe that's what we need. And, they had the emergency team meeting on the field prior to the KC game, and it sparked them. Maybe this stay out there sparks them. Maybe this little trip out east, it sparks them.
Yeah.
We could only hope, right?
And we need to get back to what we were doing last season too, man. We were getting wins on the road.
Yeah,
we ain't getting those wins on the road, especially early on in the season.
Right.
I feel like if we could start to do some of the things that we did last season,
yeah,
it could spark us and it can get us going in the right direction. But again, I mean, it's all on them, man.
Yeah.
Like, we can hope and pray that we'll see something like that, but it's all on them to take it.
It is. So our last segment here, I See You. We didn't do this last week, but we're bringing it back this week. So this one's a kind of a combo. They go together. So first off, Little King on the blog. Little King, man, he's a cool dude. We got to meet him. I saw him at the Chiefs game. I seen him at the Chargers game as well. Che, you got to meet him last week.
Yeah. Cool dude, man.
Very cool dude. He's an OG out there. He's from the Bay Area, but he travels around. I don't even want to say he's from the Bay Area. He's just kind of from all over, man. He is Raider Nation. I'm putting that on you, King, man. I'm gonna give you that. You are Raider Nation. You are out there, and you were at the Redskins game. And so this was a comment in regard to the Redskins game. He said tonight, I was at that game. It seemed like an anomaly, but weird. What was weird is I felt good leaving that game, and here we are now. And then Friskies, he kind of backed that up. Actually, this was something else. I wanted to mention somebody else had mentioned McCown was running around out there like we need Carr to right now, and I forgot exactly who it was that said that. It might have been Raider Educator. Probably wrong. But then Friskies backed that up. He said that there are now 2 QBs in the NFL with 12-plus passing touchdowns and 3-plus rushing touchdowns so far this season. Number 1, Dak Prescott from the Dallas Cowboys, and number 2, Josh McCown, former Oakland Raider great. Josh McCown. Marinate on that.
Oh, man.
I want to give some shout-outs. Shout out to Purvis Man. Shout out to Plunk for Hall of Fame. Shout out to Coda. Shout out Plunkhead, Little King, Raider Educator, Two Romes, Heck Legler, Count Basie, and Kyle Cunningham. You two guys are newbies. We want to welcome you to the site. Thanks for taking a dip. I know it's strange waters out there. We're strange folk. But when you're 3 and 5,
yeah,
there's only so much to talk about.
Yeah.
So we try to keep it lively. Again, pj4f.com, the most lively Raider Nation conversation on the internet. And I mean that. From
the bottom of my heart.
Yes. Anything you want to talk about before we get out of the show?
Oh, man. No, man, I just hope we see some life, man. I want to see some life in us. Mm-hmm. I want to see some emotion, man. Like that. Yeah. They need to be fired up and go out there and play and put everything on the line, man.
Yeah.
I think if they do that, I think we come out on top.
Yeah.
And then maybe we have some more happy to talk about next week. I'm just pissed that I wasn't able to make it out for the podcast after the KC game. I know. I didn't even get to celebrate that, man, with everybody. But
it's all your damn fault, man. You broke the streak, bro. No, I feel you.
I'll take the blame. You
got to do what you had to do.
I'm a team player, man.
We made it through a full show without saying mojo.
No, we didn't.
Damn it. I could always beep that out if I wanted to. But I'm not. I'm going to keep it raw and uncut. I don't know. It's going to take more than a catchphrase, Jack, to get this team back on track. And make no mistake about it, Jack. You're on the hot seat, man.
Yeah, man. Everybody is on the hot seat, man.
Hot.
Come on.
Hot. So that's it, man. That's it for this week's show. Tune in every week on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher Radio. Make sure to call in and leave a message to be played on air, 408-909-PJFF. Don't forget, we publish fan-submitted articles, so send us your best write-ups to see your work published online at pj4f.com. Come in, you find the email address there. I already said it earlier in the show. You can hit us up anywhere. We're on social media. Call in, 408-909-PJFF. Just let me know. Get in contact with me, and we'll get you set up. Lastly, get dipped in your pillaging gear. Head over to pj4f.com/shop. Pick your nice t-shirt. Little story today. My dad, he's a part of a bucket club. He's got his little group of friends. Older guys out there. They all love music. They like to eat good food. So that's what they do every Thursday. They go out and they pick a new restaurant, and sometimes they go record shopping. And this week they walked into a restaurant there in San Jose. I'm not sure which one it was. And there was a guy dressed up. He said, looking pretty business. Yeah. And waves to my dad. My dad's a talkative dude. Yeah. If you wonder where I get it from. And so my dad kind of strolls over to the table, and the guy says, "Hey, I like your shirt." My dad's wearing the Pillaging Just for Fun shirt because we represent out here. Right. And he said, "I like your shirt." He's like, "Oh yeah." And the guy tells him, "I like that show. I listen to that show." And my dad's like, "Really? That's my son." And he's like, "Oh, your son's Kenny Stapler?" He's like, "Yeah, my name's Roy Stapler. Nice to meet you." That's obviously not my name. I'm not going to give you my government. Email me and maybe. But I work in the public, so we got to keep it low key.
There you go.
But I thought that was cool, man. So if you're listening right now, dude, hit me up. Let me know how you found out about the show. And if you listen, but you don't comment on the blog or anything like that, I'm interested to find out how you found out about us. Tell a friend. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. We are trying to grow this show. We are trying to get out there.
Yes.
I think the more that people know about it, and the more opportunities we get to bring good guests on, and the more we get to open this thing up.
Definitely.
We're trying to open our offense up too, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
we're trying to make some big plays here.
That's what's up. We're gonna go downfield all season. We're not
Hail Mary.
We're not giving up. Hail Mary. Trips right. Go routes. Blue 42. Sup? So yeah, man, that's it for this week's show. We had a blast, considering everything that's going on. We're gonna keep it fun. It's good to see you, bro.
It's great to see you too, man.
Good to have you back, man. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I'm Kenny Stapler, joined as always
by your boy Chet.
We out you.
Peace.
Go Raiders.
Just win, baby.
Like a freight train coming, you're blowing the town. Like a diesel motor, you never shut down. With your pistons pumping, you're mowing them down. It's a sight to see, they all lay their money down. When you're gone, mama, hell, you ain't acting right. When you're gone, mama, I can still see your eyes. When you're gone, mama, this'll be my last goodbye. When you're gone, gone, gone. When the sky is gray and the night sets